Hey, welcome back. I'm Kayla.
And I'm Bethany, and this is Standing BTS.
Yes,
welcome to another wonderful episode where we get to hang out for about an hour and just talk about BTS.
And what a wonderful hour it is, too. But disclaimer, this is a comedy fangirl podcast. Do you want to tell them what that means, Bethany?
Yeah, that means that we're going to fangirl, laugh, and learn a little bit along the way. This is an explicit podcast, though, so if you aren't cool with that, you can dip out now. We won't blame you.
Ooh, yeah, and we're going to learn so much today because we are talking about our beloved Taehyung.
Yay!
And by we, I mean Bethany. So if you're down for some, oh my fucking god, Taehyung makes me want to cry because he's so fucking amazing.
Or shit, how the fuck is BTS having another comeback?
Then you're in the right place. And can we just talk about how fucking insane it is that Answer is coming out on August 24th?
I know, it's absolutely ridiculous. I was not expecting that at all.
No.
Yeah, the repackage thing, I honestly was unsure of that to begin with. Mm-hmm. And I had heard rumors that they were having a comeback, and I was like, no, there's no way. They just had a comeback. It was a lot for that comeback. Like, I mean, they did so many comeback stages and so many performances, and they worked really hard on that album. It was like a full-length album. And then for them to say, oh, we're coming back in August, I was like, what?
Yeah. First of all, I feel like our first initial reaction was how? Like, how do they have the time? How do they have the energy? Like, are they being overworked? Have they been able to have enough rest, you know?
Oh, that's immediately what I thought of. Like, how did they sleep? How did they eat? How did they drink even water? I mean, like, how did they have the time to make an entire album after they had just released a huge album?
And then the next question is why? And I'm assuming because they want to have another one before their world tour, and possibly maybe they'll release Wonder before the end of the year with how quickly they just released Answer. Mm-hmm. Just because, you know, maybe they want to wrap up the Love Yourself kind of eras before the end of the tour, so by the time the tour ends they can come out with their next thing, kind of like they did with the end of the Wings tour going into the DNA era.
Yeah, no, I agree totally. I think that Wonder will probably be released at the end of the Love Yourself tour. Kind of like with Wings, they at the very end kind of released Love Yourself Her. And I think they performed some of the songs for Love Yourself Her actually at the concert, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, they did. I'm pretty sure that they did.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking that's what's going to happen. And obviously, Big Hit and BTS plan all of this stuff. I mean, they've probably had this planned since the beginning of the Wings tour, if not during the Wings tour.
For sure.
So it took us by complete surprise. I was just wanting a music video for Airplane Part 2, and then they're like, oh, hey, we're having a comeback with a whole new album, and we're releasing Answer. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and so what we found out is, or what I read on Twitter, and I think this person had translated it from an article or from the website about the album, it's the repackage and Love Yourself Answer together. So it's a pinkish color, box kind of set like we have with the other two albums. Anyways, it comes with 2 CDs. So the assumption, I think, is that one CD has Love Yourself Her and Tear, and the other CD is going to have Love Yourself Answer with with 7 new songs. So we know that we're going to have an intro, an outro, a hit track, and then 4 other songs in there. So it's going to be a pretty solid album. I'm not upset that it's short because they just released Tear, and they're about to go on world tour. This is so much content. It's insane that they've made this amount of music.
I know. And in terms of the concert, I'm like, how are they going to perform all of the songs on Tear? Well, not all, but the majority of the songs on Tear and Love Yourself Her and some of their previous songs, because people want to hear that too.
Yeah.
But now they're releasing Answer, so I'm just like, this concert.
It's going to be, so, I mean, it has to be a 2-hour concert.
Oh, it's probably
At
going to be
least.
like 3 hours. Yeah.
It's fucking BTS. They're going to put on a show, you know, but like, I feel like we're going to get some medleys. I feel like, you know, we're going to get some storylines.
Yeah. It's going to be amazing. So anyways, that's what's going on with the BTS universe. But real quickly, let's talk about what's going on in Kayla and I's universe. Kayla just got her first big girl job, and I just want to congratulate her and have all of you guys congratulate her too. She just got a teaching position at a high school for teaching Spanish, and she's teaching Spanish level 2 and 3, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, thank you so much.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm so excited. So last Friday, I interviewed at the school in the morning, and I had never heard of this school district. It was kind of like a little bit more south of Kansas City than I had been before, but it's still like the school is only like a 25-minute drive from me, not a bad commute at all. And I just immediately felt comfortable. We sat down. I got there at like 9:55 for a 10 a.m. interview. Immediately sat down, started talking. When I left and I looked at my phone as I was getting in my car, it was 11:34. Like an hour and a half long interview. It did not seem like that long. It was amazing. And I drove home. I started packing because I was going to St. Louis that weekend. And they called me within the hour to offer me the job.
It was amazing.
Yeah, it was so amazing. I feel like it's going to be such a great community to start my career in, and like I hope to be there for many years. I felt like it was just going to be an environment where I can really learn as a new teacher, and where I can grow and really thrive as a teacher. So I'm just so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. When you were doing your like teaching, what do they call that?
Student teaching?
Student teaching, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You did your student teaching, at least one of them, with a elementary school.
Yeah, I did.
And I was like, man, I just don't feel like that's Kayla. Like, if anyone can handle high schoolers, it's Kayla. And so it's just like the most, and it's like higher level Spanish. It's not just like zapatos and hola and como estás. It's actual Spanish where you learn tenses and commands and things. And so I'm super excited for you. This is going to be such a great job. This is like your ideal job, high school
really
Spanish
is.
teacher. Yes, I'm so excited for you. I can't wait till you start.
I know. It's like a few weeks away.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we should really get into Taehyung. So I feel like I'm just going to sit back and relax, and you get to tell me all about your bias. And just like I did when we talked about Jimin. So go ahead.
Yeah. So I do want you to chime in, though. I don't want this to be completely me.
No, I won't. But like you compiled all of this information. You were like, yo, it's Taehyung. I got this.
Well, I could write like a whole biography on Kim Taehyung. So I did not mind doing this. Okay. Let's go ahead. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start with his bio / his background. So his full name is Kim Taehyung. His stage name is V, which actually stands for victory. And he actually had other names to consider while he was joining BTS. So some of the other names that they thought would be suitable for him were Lex and Six. And him and everyone else, a big hit was like, no, V. V is what fits him the best, and I agree. I'm glad he went with it.
Yeah.
It's very unique, just like he is. So his nicknames are Tae, Tae Tae, Gucci Boy, CGV, Blank Tae, and Von Tae. And so all of them kind of have their own meanings, like Gucci Boy because he likes to wear Gucci, and CGV, like computer graphic designing, so that he kind of has like interesting facial expressions, and so he's kind of like an animated character. And then there's also Blank Tae, which I don't know, like this one I think is kind of interesting because he sometimes looks like he has a blank face on. Maybe not so much anymore. I think this was more back when he first started in BTS. And then Von Tae is actually a name that he gave himself. It's like his photographer name. And so Tae is a photographer, I think in Australia. And so V is super inspired by this photographer, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to combine Ante and V and make it Vante, and that is my photographer name, which I think is really, really cool.
Yeah. So I didn't know about like half of those nicknames.
Yeah. So kind of a sidebar. I made this playlist for Taehyung because I seriously love him so, so much. And I had seen some people make playlists for their biases before, and I highly encourage you guys to make a playlist for your bias if you're really into music. But when I made this playlist, I was like, I want to make it for both Taehyung and I, like both of our musical interests, because honestly, I think V has a lot of the similar music taste as I do.
Yes.
I titled the playlist after Henry Holliday's famous painting called Dante and Beatrice. And this painting is of Dante Alighieri and Beatrice Portinari. They're both two people who kind of had this unrequited love with each other. And Dante loved Beatrice from like a distance, and they had little to no contact with each other. Like they knew of each other, but really Dante was just in love with Beatrice, but never actually expressed his love for her. So I titled the playlist Dante and Beatrice for a couple reasons. One, Dante is close to Vante, and then Beatrice is kind of similar to Bethany. And then Taehyung's love for art, obviously, so Dante and Beatrice is a painting.
Yeah.
And then also, I don't know, I guess I kind of see myself as like Dante, who like loves and cares for Taehyung, but like he'll never really know who I am or how much I love him, which is really, really sad. But I kind of made like our own little romance story out of it.
Yeah, that's really sweet.
Anyways, I really wanted to share that because that playlist means a lot to me.
Yeah, that's so sweet. Like, I just love that you made him a whole playlist, and I love all of your meaning behind it. Like, you really put so much thought into that.
Yeah, I really thought about it. Maybe a little too much, but I loved it.
Yeah. Okay, so Taehyung was born on December 30th in 1995 in Daegu, South Korea. So he's currently 22 years old or 23 years old in Korean age. And his zodiac sign is a Capricorn. So his blood type is AB. So best traits for AB are creative, calm, rational, sociable, intelligent, and adaptable.
Yes.
And some of the worst traits are critical, indecisive, unforgiving, and aloof.
Yes. So in terms of best traits, like I really do think that he is super, super creative. And I think he can be super calm too. Like he's kind of has this like free spirit, and I think that is what makes him come off as calm. And then also he's totally sociable and intelligent, and I think adaptable as well. Maybe not so much rational.
Yeah, I think so too. No, I think he's rational in like his Taehyung way.
Yeah.
Like he thinks through things in a like I mean, we've talked about his like unique mind before. Like he's just a very creative person, which causes his thought processes to be different, but that doesn't mean that they're not rational.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also
Yeah.
think that he has a lot of feelings, and he's very open about his feelings, and he acts on his feelings a lot, which is what makes me think that maybe he's not as rational as like maybe Namjoon is, but he's super sociable, he's super intelligent, he's super creative. I mean, yes, totally.
Yeah, I could see that.
So in terms of his family, his mother and father are both farmers in Daegu. And he actually said that his family came from a not so fortunate background. And that even though they came from this not so fortunate background, meaning they didn't have like the most money, his parents were always super supportive of him. So he is the eldest of 3 children. So he has a younger brother and a younger sister. And so he's very, very close to his family. And some actually suspect that stigma is dedicated to both his younger siblings, kind of as an apology for being absent as they've grown up.
Yeah, I could totally see that.
Yeah, definitely. And he actually helped write Stigma a little bit. So I could see how if he was thinking about something that was meaningful to him, it would totally be about his family and his younger siblings. I mean, we all know that Taehyung loves kids, and for him to be absent, he's the eldest brother, and he wasn't there for a lot of his younger siblings' upbringing. So I'm sure really crushes him.
Yeah. No, I think that Taehyung, like, I mean, we know that BTS, they write their music to reflect their true feelings or like their true experiences or whatever. They're not just, you know, making up stuff. So
No.
I do like, obviously I feel like Taehyung could connect with Stigma in this way. Like that totally makes sense, and that's so like sweet and sad at the same time, and maybe why like he like takes care of like his members. Like he's so attentive to everybody, especially Jungkook since he's younger.
Yeah, he has such a big soft heart for everyone. I love it.
Yeah.
We also know that he was really close to his grandmother, who sadly passed away on September 3rd of 2016. Taehyung actually shared the passing of his grandmother with ARMY during a concert at the Gochak Dome. And he said that his grandmother was like a parent to him and raised him for 14 years. And so he shared his love.
Wow.
Yeah, he shared his love and admiration, saying that his grandmother is so precious to him. And I will actually put the link in the description of him at the concert expressing to all of ARMY kind of what he was going through at the time in terms of his grandmother.
Yeah, that video, I mean,
it's so sad. Prepare yourself,
it
like
makes
you
me
will
cry every
cry.
time. Yeah, it's heartbreaking.
I know.
But, you know, like he had to, like, it was so sweet that he shared that with us, and like, you know, like now we were able to like support him through that grieving process.
I know.
I love when you only say "I know" like that when you talk about Taehyung. Like something about it in your voice, it's just like it's so, like you just love him so much.
I really just love him so much.
Okay, so as far as his education goes, he attended Korea Arts High School with Jimin and graduated in 2014. And then he attended Global Cyber University, like, I don't know, fucking every other member of BTS.
Yeah, everyone, I guess, in Korea. Yeah. So let's go ahead and start talking about V, when Taehyung transformed into V once he joined BTS.
Yes.
So his audition with Big Hit, he was not actually planning to audition for a K-pop group. He was, at the time, learning how to play saxophone for about 3 years. He was very passionate about music, and he was passionate about singing, and of course his parents were super supportive of it. But at the same time, he was like, I would never go and audition for a K-pop group. However, Big Hit had an audition in Daegu, and one of Taehyung's friends wanted him to come along for support. So Taehyung didn't actually audition or go in with the intention of auditioning because he just wanted to support his friend, and he also felt that his parents wouldn't approve of it, that they were pretty strict, and he was like, I'm not even going to attempt to ask because I know they're going to say no. However, Big Hit's team actually saw him there at the audition, and they asked him to actually participate and not just support. What ended up happening is that Big Hit somehow, I don't know who did it, but either Big Hit or Taehyung during the audition ended up calling his parents asking for approval for him to audition, because he's like, yeah, sure, I'll do it, but I need my parents to say yes. Otherwise, I won't.
Yeah.
Which I think is super cute.
Yeah.
So it turned out that Taehyung, his parents ended up saying, okay, yeah, sure, go for it. He auditioned, and he was actually the only one in Daegu who passed the auditions, which is crazy. So.
Wow.
I know. I mean, I don't know if he was just like super attractive. It's like Big Hit saw him and they were like, yeah, him. Like, he's the member. We have to have him. He's not even doing anything, but.
Maybe it was just his energy, you know.
I honestly believe that.
I
truly believe that.
I can imagine him like sitting in like the waiting area with his friend and just like laughing and talking and just like really lighting up the room. And then they're just like him over there. Like,
he's probably making everyone feel super comfortable and super confident before they go in for their audition. And they're like, who the hell is that guy? And why has he not auditioned?
Yeah. Okay. So something that's really cool about V, like, is that V was a hidden member of BTS. So basically, like, until BTS debuted on June 13th, 2013 on Mnet's M Countdown with the track No More Dream, like nobody knew like who V was, or like they like I feel like we knew that there was like another member, but like it hadn't been revealed yet. So he was like awaited at some you know.
He was like behind the curtain. Big Hit kept talking about that they had another member of BTS and that he was this hidden member, and it was kind of like, oh, who is he? We see all these logs of all the other members, but we know that there's someone else, so it was super anticipated.
Yeah, so like why was he like this hidden member? Like what's the reason? I feel like we've heard a few different reasons. Yeah,
there's definitely a lot of reasons. I feel like we don't really know the truth behind this, why Taehyung was a hidden member. There's a lot of theories. So we hear over and over again that Jimin was the last member actually to join BTS. But when we look at it, Taehyung was the last member to be shown to the public.
Yeah.
And so this is kind of skeptical. So some people think that Taehyung was kind of like pending, that he needed more training than the other members. And Taehyung even said so himself, that he felt he had no talent when he joined BTS.
But he could just be being modest.
Yeah, he could just be being modest, like they all are. And in his first solo log, he actually said that he had to practice a lot before releasing his own log without anyone else. He had done like logs with other members like Jin and stuff, but he never really did his own. He had to practice a lot out of it. So if you want to see his first solo log, it's really, really cute. So I will put the link in the description.
Yeah. You know what it seems like? So I see that, like some people also say that Big Hit was skeptical or unsure of Taehyung, but there's like no confirmed sources. I feel like that and the people saying that Taehyung was like a pending member and needed more training, I feel like those are like old like anti-rumors that started way back in 2013. Because like those are disproven just by the fact that BTS has said over and over that Jimin was the last member to join BTS, to like sign on officially, join, officially be a member. So if Taehyung was pending during all that time up until literally their debut, then how would have Jimin been the last member to join? Taehyung would have been the last member to join.
This is me just being devil's advocate. Do you think that Jimin and Taehyung had to fight for the spot of being the secretive member or being the hidden member? I don't know if this is true. This is just me thinking, like, if Jimin and Taehyung were both the last ones to join BTS and they kind of had this sketchy background, I guess, in terms of being members of BTS, do you think that they were, like, competing to be this hidden member, this surprise member? They ended up being best friends, which is like bizarre to me.
I've never thought about it. I know that during that time, they didn't talk a lot. Like they've said that at that time, like right up before debut, they were not close. They didn't talk a lot. But even though they were like friends in high school and good friends and they knew each other before BTS. But like, I don't know. Have you seen any videos or anything that like says that? Because like
no, I haven't. This was just my thought right now. I was like, I wonder if they were competing for this spot, or
and that's why
it's just interesting to think about.
Yeah, and that's why it could be like the last two. Yeah. Well, maybe.
Yeah. So there's another theory, and this is the theory that I really think is true. So some say that Big Hit ended up using Taehyung as a surprise and as a marketing tactic. So we know that BTS had like their pre-debut phase where they did like Graduation, and I forgot the song that RM and Jin did, and Yoongi. So they all kind of did this like pre-debut stuff. They had video logs of all of them together, and Taehyung was a part of Big Hit. I mean, he even said that he went to Namjoon's graduation and that they all came over to his house for a holiday. And so he had been a part of BTS, but he was hidden in the corner for so long. And a lot of people think that this was a marketing tactic. Like, okay, yeah, by the way, if you're all getting hyped about BTS, we have a hidden member, and we're gonna show him once we debut. So it made people want to see their debut and be a part of their debut, which I think is a really smart marketing tactic.
Yeah, I feel like this is the most likely truth behind Taehyung not being revealed, because it just makes sense looking at like Big Hit's history. Like, we never know what the fuck Big Hit is doing, what the fuck they have planned for BTS. Like, it's always a surprise, and they've been doing it from the beginning, literally from debut. So
absolutely, yes. And so what's interesting is like, okay, so if they chose this as a marketing tactic, okay, why did they choose V to be the element of surprise? And so on Reddit, which I never get on Reddit because I really don't like people on Reddit. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But Gemini on Reddit said, if he's hidden, a lot assume he's going to be visually stunning and or loaded with talent. And in Tae's case, we got all of that in a bag of chips, a tub of popcorn, and a side of personality that's brimming with adorable quirkiness. And I just love that. I just love that because, you know, when they said that they had this hidden member, they're like, okay, he's either super talented, but we already see that with Jungkook, or he's like super visually stunning, which Jin already was. So they're like, we don't know. He's got to be super insane. We don't know what to expect.
Yeah. So I think clearly overall it's just that he has some quirkiness, some uniqueness about him that makes him that like just interesting member to kind of have that role.
Yeah. He was different.
Yeah.
He was different.
Talking about his role. So he has his roles in BTS. He's a singer. So Taehyung is known for his deep voice. In early BTS, his deep voice was like more of a raspy, growly singing, which you've told me that he's gotten a lot of hate for.
Oh, yeah.
But I really like it. Like, I feel like when he does it in those songs from like Baby BTS, like when he does that, it makes the song. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it changes the song up. It's like this mix between the rapping and the singing.
And then as BTS evolved, and as Taehyung's singing has, perfected over the years, his voice and his songs are like more soulful. He can be very sultry and velvety and like smooth and like really sexy at the same time.
It's super sexy. It's fucking hypnotizing. It really is. Like, go listen to Singularity, damn it. He is so good.
Pause this and go listen to Singularity just to enjoy it and then come back. Yeah.
So V actually has the widest or largest range in BTS. So I found online from this girl who's actually really versed in choir and singing. She said that his range is from I think it's an E flat. Is that what that is? E flat 2 to a D6. I have no idea what that means.
Wow. Like a high D, basically.
A high D,
Wow, shit, that's high.
Yeah. He has 3 octaves, 5 notes, and 1 semitone to his range. 3 octaves. 3 octaves and then 5 notes and a semitone. I mean, I don't know much about choir or music or singing, but that, I know just going from 1 octave, like a low octave, to the next octave, if you have to go up another octave on top of that, and then surpass all of that on top of it, that has to be a huge range.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's talent. That's talent.
Yeah.
Like, when I was in high school, I sang soprano in like our like choir. And I was in this musical and I had to hit like this really high, like this high F or high G, I don't remember. And so that's like an octave and a half maybe, or maybe 2 octaves. I can go a little low, but that was really, really, really hard. And I practiced for a long time, like
Oh, yeah.
a lot to try to hit that note for this show. And that's when I was singing all the time. Like, there's no way I could do that now. And like Taehyung not only has increased his vocal ability as far as octaves go throughout the years, but like he's maintained it.
Absolutely. No, he has worked so hard. And you can see the motivation that he has when he goes into his singing. Like, he just wants to be better. Same that he did with his dancing and whatnot. I mean, he just strives to be better.
You've sent me like a video before that was like evolution of stigma of like his high note.
Oh, yes. I did.
People should go watch that.
So, yes, yeah. I will put the link to that in the description. It's a video on YouTube, and it's by Feverent Jimin, and it's titled Evolution of Stigma High Note. And it compiles all these clips of Taehyung singing the high note in Stigma. And it starts from February of 19th, 2017 in Seoul, which is like their first concert for the Wings tour, and goes all the way until November 4th of 2017 in Kotai. And oh my God, guys, like, he made so much improvement. Like, yes, in Seoul on February 19th, his high note was super rough. I'm not going to lie. Like, it was like painful to kind of listen to. It was either like sharp or flat, or I don't really know, but it just wasn't the right note. But we all know that Taehyung has a super low register for his voice. And so for him to hit that super high note in Stigma, I mean, kudos that he challenged himself and he perfected it. I mean, if you listen to that November 4th, 2017 in Kotai, I mean, he hits it beautifully. I mean, it gives you chills, absolutely goosebumps throughout your whole body.
Yeah, it's really amazing to watch. And honestly, that video, it's like kind of difficult to watch at the very beginning, but as you stick with it and like he's such a hard worker. So he gets better every time. From that date to the very end of the Wings tour, you can see he had to have worked so damn hard on that note. Like, he was behind the scenes working his ass off to make sure that he could hit it and do it well. And he did. He did it. He fucking did it. He conquered that shit. Are you captivated? I'm captivated 24/7. Always. Especially because another role of Taehyung in BTS is that he's a visual. So people kind of say that he's a visual now, like an official, unofficial visual, because he was voted the most handsome face of 2017. So people are like, yes, Jin is the visual, but Taehyung also a visual. I think he's actually considered a visual. Really? Yeah. It's not just like rumor. Well, he deserves it. Can Jimin be a visual too? I mean, he's beautiful. Yeah. He's also a dancer, like some say, and some would agree. I'm sure that Taehyung became a part of the dance line with the release of Singularity because he also owned that shit. And people are actually making it sound like his initiation as a dancer of BTS was actually with Singularity, but I haven't found any confirmed sources that he actually is considered a part of the dance line. But we do know that he's a dancer. I mean, when they released Fire, I mean, Taehyung comes to the front at the end of the song when it's most hype, and he is the front and center dancer. So we haven't really seen that before, like we've seen with J-Hope and Jimin and Jungkook. But with Fire, we did see that. And with Singularity, we saw Serendipity, and Jimin didn't dance. And so we were all kind of really thrown off guard when we saw that Taehyung had this intense choreography for Singularity. And then, on top of it, a couple days later, they made a tweet of a lot of the dance line and some of the backup dancers and Taehyung. And people are like, okay, this is like the sign that he is a part of the dance line, which is interesting. I mean, like, I feel like that was what was so jarring about Singularity was that Serendipity did not have dancing at all. It was just very beautiful shots of Jimin doing small movements and really aesthetic and like an earthquake. And Singularity was this intense choreography and like stunning visuals at the same time. That like that choreography from Taehyung was really, it really threw me off, and it is so good.
Maybe this is his initiation as a part of the dance line. I mean, all I have to say is like maybe, okay, I get it. Like he's my bias. I'm sorry I'm talking him up so much for this episode, but honestly, like he's worked so hard. He's worked so hard in all of these categories, and honestly, if this was his initiation into the dance line, I think he deserves it.
Yeah. I mean, like, they said, like, Jimin said that he's never seen Taehyung work so hard, dance so hard in his life. The backup dancer said that I've never been around such a hardworking, attentive artist, you know? Yeah. So, I mean, I think you're saying facts, Bethany.
Oh, thank you. Okay. Hold on a second. I need to make sure I'm still recording. Okay. No. Can you trust me? Okay.
Can you trust me?
Okay. So let's get into the career of Kim Taehyung.
All right.
Okay. So in terms of songwriting and producing, the first song that he co-wrote and co-produced was Hold Me Tight. He also contributed to the writing lyrics of Boys with Fun, which he also co-composed with Yoongi.
You know, I did not know that, and I love Boys with Fun. Like, that song will just randomly pop into my head, and it'll be stuck in my head out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yes, it's so fun. I have to like find it and listen to it.
It's super cute because when they perform it live, they have, as part of the choreography, that V comes up to the front and he makes his own choreography. He changes it every time they perform it. And then he'll do the choreography and then all of the members will just mimic it. And I think that is so beautiful because Boys with Fun, like he actually contributed to that song. And then he is also able to contribute to the choreography, which is super, super cool.
Yeah, that's so fun.
I love it so much.
That's like so meaningful.
I know. I fucking love all the members for being so supportive of him. But anyways, so V also composed the melody for Run. And then his melody actually was put together with Jungkook's original lyrics for Taehyung's melody. So it was actually Taekook who did the melody in completion together for Run.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. Beautiful. Na, 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 na. Okay. He also helped with the composition of Stigma, which I think is beautiful because
of course he did.
We think that Stigma is actually about his younger siblings. He also co-wrote and produced 4 O'Clock with RM, which is amazing. I love RM for singing during 4 O'Clock too. RM is not like super comfortable with singing, but for Taehyung, he was like, I'm going to help him. He wants to do this. He wants to write this, so I'm going to help him. And Taehyung actually wrote this song about Jimin. Being such good friends with Jimin. And then he also wrote it for BTS's 4-year anniversary. How thoughtful.
Yeah. Festa. Anyways, yeah, I love that song. And like we've talked about it before on the Vmon episode, but it's such a good song.
Yeah, it really is.
Didn't Taehyung, I feel like he also shared his version or like composition of Spring Day on a V Live. And,
yeah, no, he did.
Yeah, he said, I wrote the chorus part, but then Namjoon took the part away from me, and then he just like laughed about it.
Yeah, so the original Spring Day, like the Spring Day that we hear is actually Namjoon's chorus, but it was originally Taehyung who wrote the chorus for Spring Day. And he shared it with us on V Live, which I will put the link in the description so you guys can all go and listen to it because it is beautiful. But I will say Namjoon's version obviously is amazing. And I think Taehyung was like, okay, yeah, fine, whatever. He took the spot, but he was like, yeah, it's really good. So he just kind of laughs about it. But he shared it with us, and it's just so beautiful. So, yeah, he did compose a version of Spring Day, the chorus, and it's really, really good. He's also done several covers in other non-BTS related songs, which includes Hug Me that he did with J-Hope, which if you haven't seen that, it's so, so good. He also did Adele's Someone Like You, which he actually put a music video to where he's just kind of like walking in the streets. It's like a black and white filter, and he's singing Someone Like You. And it's just amazing. It reminds me... Whatever, I'm not going to bring up the Beatles right now. Anyways, so... okay, I'm gonna mention the Beatles. I really want to mention it. I'm sorry.
Okay.
It reminds me of Ringo, who sang That Boy for the Beatles, and it was a black and white filter as well. Obviously, it wasn't really a filter. It was like they didn't have color yet, so it was black and white. And Ringo is my, I guess you could say, bias of the Beatles. And so Ringo sang That Boy while walking down like Liverpool and by this like river and this stone wall, and he's just walking and singing, and it reminds me so much of Taehyung's Someone Like You's version of Adele. And it's just like, oh my God, yes. Anyways.
He also made the original soundtrack for Harang called Even If I Die It's You, and he made that with Jin, and they just performed it for Festa.
Yeah, they did, and it was so, so good, especially since Jin has been bias wrecking me.
It was so good. They did such a good job.
They did an amazing job. So that is the soundtrack that's one of the songs for the soundtrack for Harang. And so let's get into another part of Taehyung's career, which is acting. And V made his acting debut in a supporting role in KBS 2's historical drama, Harang, The Poet Warrior Youth, which if you haven't seen it, it's really, really good. And V does...
I haven't.
V does a great job. V, honestly, his character is very similar to him. Kind of this innocent, carefree, loving personality. And spoilers. Just if you want to watch it, don't listen to this. But, his character ends up... But he has a scene, which is...
Bethany!
Should I not say that? Should I just cut that?
No spoilers. Come on.
You know,
now, they're definitely not going to watch it. Bethany, just bleep it out.
I will. Yeah, sure.
I'll send you the bleep. Just bleep it out.
I would appreciate that. Okay. You should go and watch Harang. V does a fantastic job, and his character is so adorable. It's hard not to love him.
Okay.
So the last thing is, in terms of career... He is also kind of a photographer. I wouldn't say so much an official photographer.
Vante.
But he has Vante, yes. So...
He is really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's an actor, a singer, a songwriter... you name it. This boy can really just do it all. And
I would like to also insert that he's a model because he is. And I hope that one day he truly gets to model for a ton of big brands or big names or big photographers because he's so visually stunning.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I wonder if he's been approached. Gucci has to know. With how much he trends on Twitter with Gucci Boy, you would think that Gucci's wait, who's Gucci Boy?
Dressed head to toe in Gucci, yeah.
Really, you look at the Gucci model and you're like, fuck, that needs to be Taehyung. He wears it better.
He can wear anything. He can take something right off the runway that you're kind of iffy about it. You're like, really? They're really doing that? And then he could wear it and you're like, okay, I get it.
He wears gauchos and he works them. It's amazing. I don't know who can wear gauchos and make that work, but he does. He goes for comfort.
Okay. All right.
Okay. So let's get into the personality of Taehyung.
Yes.
So what I really, really love is Jungkook's description of Taehyung. When asked to describe his personality, Jungkook said, "I have no answer to describe his personality," which I think is amazing because it's hard to really categorize him in a personality type when he's so unique. And so we actually had a listener from the UK. Her name is Patty. She emailed us recently expressing how she's studying psychology and she's intrigued by the Myers-Briggs personality types. And so we kind of asked her to share her opinion and view on the personality types of all of the members. And so I felt like this would be a good time to share her opinion on what she thinks V's personality type is in terms of Myers-Briggs, which could or could not be accurate because you had to take the test yourself. You can't take the test for the person. But I kind of agreed with what she said. She thinks that V is an ENFP, which stands for extroversion, intuition, feeling, and perception. So this is what she said. This is what she said about Taehyung. I'm pretty sure V is an ENFP. I think people misinterpret him a lot. You guys are so right. V is so intelligent and deep. He cares so much for the other members. He's so warm and kind-hearted, but of course he has his moments of wackiness and cute madness. Tae definitely is not one for structure. I think he definitely prefers to be more flexible and have freedom to do things when he wants to. He is not afraid to express himself emotionally, and so I think he is ENFP, and it's a perfect fit for him. And some other characteristics of an ENFP include enthusiastic, outgoing, spontaneous, changeable, impulsive, energetic, and understanding. I think this is an amazing way to explain Taehyung. I really do.
I feel like he is very spontaneous.
Oh, yes. He's unpredictable. We've said this so many times.
Yeah, not even in like a way that can negatively affect him. Like I feel like I'm a very worried person, so I don't do a lot of spontaneous things. So like sometimes I think of spontaneity like in a negative way, but I feel like Taehyung, not many spontaneous things that he does like really affect him negatively. Like he'll like in this Run episode that just came out this week, he just spontaneously decided to walk back into the kitchen and like check on Jungkook or see if he needed help or whatever, like when everybody else was outside.
I just want to know what goes on in his mind.
I know, like he's just like, I'm just gonna wander over here now, go check out what's going on, and like I don't know.
For him, like I think that's one of the biggest things that attracts me to him.
Yeah.
But anyways, so for me, my personal perspective of Taehyung is that he has the mind and personality of an artist. Like he's very creative, he's super unique, very interesting, free-spirited, excitable, charming, curious, and compassionate all in one. I mean, he's just so unique. And I can kind of see where people are a little bit deceived by Taehyung's personality because Taehyung expresses himself verbally and physically that's in a very different way than what is considered norm, I guess you could say. So I don't personally know Taehyung, and I could just as simply be wrong about him. But from my perspective, Taehyung is like this insane genius. Like, people tend to naturally think that, yeah, I'm serious. Like, people seriously think, like, oh, he thinks and talks and acts differently. Something's wrong with him. Like, even when he's performing and when he's on stage, like, some of the members become apprehensive whenever he's talking because he's just unpredictable. You don't know what he's going to do. You don't know what he's going to say.
No, but, like, I think he's very funny. Like, in that way where he's, like, unexpectedly funny, and he, like, can really control, like, the vibe of the room. I feel like I've said this before on this podcast. I don't remember, but I don't know why. But Taehyung, like his personality that you're kind of talking about right now, gives me just major Jeff Goldblum vibes. I don't know why. I just feel like when Taehyung is like that old and like matured as Jeff Goldblum, like he's just gonna be so similar, like in just like his kind of cool personality, but spontaneous and like very like well dressed and funny and like very quirky. Like, have you ever watched Jeff Goldblum interviews? I don't know.
No,
Somebody yell at me if I'm like making a weird connection, but that's just like, I get that kind of like artist, same like similar personality vibe.
I'm not gonna lie, I had to Google Jeff Goldblum just now because I was like, I don't know really who that is, but I feel like I should. But I saw his picture and I was like, oh yeah, no, I totally know who he is, but I don't know much about the guy. But I will take your word for it. Is he like quirky?
Yes, go watch like a GQ like interview video on YouTube with him, or like he's read like thirst tweets from like BuzzFeed. Like, I mean, the dude is great, and I just feel like the kind of creative genius that he has is like-minded to Taehyung's.
Oh,
like,
that's
I don't
amazing.
know. That's just
I'm excited.
what
I will probably look him up and actually watch interviews.
You guys, let me know what you think. What I want to hear what you guys think about that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So anyways, during American Hustle Life, he was actually, as like one of the guys who were in it, they described Taehyung as the dumb blonde of the group.
No.
And that just made me so mad. I was like, yes, he's beautiful and gorgeous, but man, this man is so creative and original and unique.
That's probably back. I mean, that was back when like it was baby BTS, and that's back when like he was nicknamed like blank Tae or whatever, like, you know, so I guess maybe that's just kind of like, I don't know, some stereotypes about him at the time that just have not aged, you know?
Yeah. And so some people say that he doesn't really pick up on social cues. I've heard a lot of theories about this. And coming from an occupational therapist perspective, I'm like, no, I don't think he doesn't pick up on social cues. I think he's either one, he doesn't give a shit, or two, he's just distracted by his own thoughts. Like he's thinking about something else, he's just not paying attention.
Yeah. Also, who the fuck are you to assume something like that about someone, that they can't pick up on social cues? Like, what the fuck?
I fucking know. But bitch, I've seen it. Taehyung gets so much hate and I fucking hate it. It makes me want to protect him and shelter him from all of the hate and just punch everyone else in the face. Anyways, and so overall, in terms of his personality, he's funny. Whether he's trying to be or not, he really connects with people through laughter. And once he connects with laughter, he then connects with intellect. And then again, he just has this like super fun personality. He's always down to do whatever, like that spontaneous kind of personality. He's fearless. And I think, truthfully, I believe that when people meet Taehyung, I think he comes off sociable because he is himself. Yeah. He's not trying to impress anyone. He's just truly and wholly being himself. And I feel like that's what he aspires to do. He just wants to be who he is, and that's it. Like, that's something he wants to do, even if it comes off as inappropriate or comes off as not the social norm. He's like, this is who I am, and this is who I want to be, and he lives by that. And I have
and there's nothing wrong with that.
No, I have so much respect. I wish I could do that. I think a lot of people wish they could do that. Who wants to wear a mask? Who wants to be something they're not?
Yeah, he's just who he is. Yeah, he's just being himself.
So lastly, he has a big, soft heart. Like, he loves all the members. We know this. One of my favorite recent moments of him is during a fan sign. And I think it was a fan sign, but one of the BTS members asked, what was your favorite Bon Voyage? And ARMY kind of collectively said Bon Voyage 1. And Taehyung was so quick to say no. Why? Namjoon wasn't there for all of it. Like, he was so sassy.
I mean, like, Taehyung, he's always the one who says, like, you know, you should love all 7 members. You should give all, you know, make sure you give all the members your love. Like, and he's always said that, you know, like, he does have such a big heart. He knows it's not him. Like, when people love him unequally, he's like, hey guys, it's not me. It's like mostly those guys. Like, can you give everyone love? Like, everybody works hard. Everybody has long days, long nights. Everybody's in the practice room. Everybody's in the studio. Like, you know,
I know.
God,
he's so kind.
I fucking love him. I love BTS. Like,
He's so kind. He loves his members.
Yep.
He really does. He is such a softie. Mm-hmm. Anyways, that's his personality. If you want to summarize it, you could write a whole 200-page paper about his personality, but there it is.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell. So just some fun facts about... Yeah, I really do. Just some fun facts about Taehyung is he has one monolid and one double lid, which I think is super interesting. Like, that makes his face look very unique. He also loves being barefoot. He does not like wearing shoes, which I think is so funny because Jimin is annoyed by it so much.
Just fucking throwing his shoes all the time.
Yes, really. And then he also has a huge passion for art. We know this. He loves art.
Yeah.
He kind of makes his own small drawings. I don't think he thinks he's very good. I think he's still practicing. But he loves art, just appreciating art. And then also, this is just totally random. When V's teaser image was released for their debut, he instantly got 5 fan clubs. Like, there were 5 fan clubs created once his, like, teaser images were released. Yeah, which is super cool.
That's crazy.
He's also ambidextrous. I actually thought that V was left-handed.
God.
Yeah, I thought he was left-handed.
I did not know that.
He's definitely right-handed, but he apparently switches between the two. Like, he's ambidextrous. I'm not surprised.
I'm ambidextrous.
I know.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
But I write left-handed, but I can switch between the two for, like, other things. But when I was in kindergarten, my teacher was like, you can't write with both hands. You need to switch it, or you need to choose one, which is just, in hindsight, so stupid. She took away an incredible talent I could have had. Like, my right hand looks like, I don't know, like a second grader when I write. Stupid. It could have been beautiful. Whatever. Okay. That's really cool that Taehyung is ambidextrous, though, also.
Yeah, it's really neat. And then lastly, before we conclude this episode, I just want to share some moments because in our past episodes, we've shared, like, our favorite moments of those members. I think this is the perfect time for me to finally share my favorite fan cam of Kim Taehyung. My favorite fan cam is of 21st Century Girl, and I will put the link in the description. My reasoning for this is that he looks so in his element. It's kind of a goofy song. He's able to be extremely sexy, but also really adorable and having the time of his life. He's blonde. He's got a backwards cap. He looks amazing. He's sexy as hell. And he's also just having a fun time. You can tell he's really enjoying himself. And that is why it's my favorite fan cam.
It's a great one.
Oh, yeah. I've shared this before in our Taekook episode. Another favorite moment of mine is during Bon Voyage 2 when they're at the luau. And he is, like, dabbing while listening to this, like, Hawaiian music. And then he ends up dabbing so hard that he spills Jungkook's drink on Jungkook's lap. It's just too funny. And then he gives this, like, lifelong deep story about how this is a part of life and trying to give this, like, lesson to Jungkook, which is really, really funny. But yeah, there's a bunch of different things. Oh, I will mention this one.
Yeah.
For his last solo V Live, which was over a year ago, which really, really saddens me. He did do a V Live.
I watched this recently.
He did do a V Live with RM. But for this one, his last one, which was over a year ago, he's at the very beginning of it listening to classical music, and he's wearing these, like, Jeffrey Dahmer glasses. And he has this, like, bright, colorful, geometric, long-sleeve silk shirt on. And he's, like, pours water from a water bottle into a mug. And then when he drinks from it, he raises his pinky super high. And he orders, like, burger and fries. And it's delivered to his hotel room. And as he's saying hello to all of the people coming into V Live, he takes this, like, air freshener, like a fucking Febreze can, and just sprays it across his body. And I'm just like, this all happens in a minute. Like, a minute of the V Live. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you so much. He's so funny.
Yes, it's so amazing.
He's the best. But anyways, I think that's all we have. Kim Taehyung.
The amazing, the one and only.
Obviously, he's my bias, so I had a lot to say about him, but everyone in BTS is so amazing, and everyone brings this unique talent to BTS and this unique element to
Yeah.
BTS. And what I have to say about Taehyung is like, man, he can do it all. I mean, they all can. Honestly, they all are so talented in every element of everything. Rapping, dancing, singing, visuals, they all do it.
Totally. We hope that you enjoyed listening to this episode. If you enjoyed this episode or any of our other episodes, we would super love and appreciate if you would go over to iTunes and give us a rating and a review. The reviews just really help us get noticed more, which is really cool. And once we get to 200 reviews, we're going to do like another special like bonus episode, and you guys will get to vote on what we talk about. It's going to be really cool. So you can send suggestions, comments, and corrections our way at standingbtspodcast@gmail.com. You can follow us and interact with us on Twitter at standingbtspod. You can follow our fangirl Instagram account at Sugary Cookie Jams, like our Facebook page, Standing BTS, for weekly updates. And just a reminder, you can listen to us on Spotify now, so stream us on Spotify. Anyways, you can find links for all of that in the description.
Thanks for listening, and thanks for standing BTS.